Nobody would have predicted this. A single name is taking basketball by storm and forcing everyone, fans, analysts, and even NBA legends, to stand at attention. That name is Caitlin Clark. In just a few short years, she has lifted the women's game to extraordinary heights, shattered records left and right, and created a wave of conversation most people never imagined we'd see in the WNBA. This is the story of how one unstoppable force is not only winning games, but also rewriting the very definition of basketball greatness. Caitlin Clark's journey didn't start on a massive stage or under bright pro league spotlights. It began in modest gymnasiums where her long-range shots turned heads and her competitive fire burned brighter than any scoreboard. Even before she hit the collegiate level, Clark was posting absurd shooting percentages that coaches struggled to believe were real. Rumors spread about a high school phenom who could pull up from midcourt and hit those shots like layups. But if her talent was eye-popping, her attitude was just as notable. She carried herself with a fierce determination and an unbreakable confidence, traits that rival coaches tried to exploit but never could. By the time she reached the college ranks, fans and analysts started asking, is Caitlin Clark the next big thing, or is this just a hot streak that will fade when she faces tougher competition? It didn't fade. In fact, it only got brighter. Her games became must-watch events, drawing crowds that normally wouldn't pay attention to women's basketball. And as that spotlight intensified, so did the controversies. Some insisted she was a one-dimensional shooter, while others believed she was a once-in-a-generation innovator about to revolutionize the entire sport. When Caitlin Clark made the leap to the pros, it was like a jolt of electricity surging through the league. WNBA ticket sales spiked wherever she played, and viewership soared during nationally televised games featuring her name. Suddenly, fans who barely glanced at the WNBA standings were tuning in, eager to witness her next scoring barrage. But with that spotlight came new challenges. Some defenders in the league tried physical tactics, pushing the boundaries of legal contact, hoping to rattle her. Others murmured that Clark was being overhyped. Maybe she was just a popular figure who got favorable calls. Ironically, though, the biggest officiating complaints often involved the opposite scenario. Many fans felt she rarely got the whistle she deserved. In one high-profile game, she appeared to be tackled mid-drive, and no foul was called. Social media exploded, with fans and commentators demanding the league protect its rising star. In a matter of weeks, Clark found herself at the center of heated discussions about fairness, star treatment, and the future direction of the WNBA. The conversation transcended the court. Analysts argued that the league needed Caitlin Clark's star power to attract new audiences. Could it really afford to put her at risk of injury with questionable officiating? Controversy raged on, and people from across the basketball spectrum started weighing in. People with names so big, the sports world had to listen. Of course, no meteoric rise happens without skeptics. Critics insisted her style was all flash, pointing out that half-court bombs and fancy passes might sell tickets, but in the playoffs, fundamentals and physical defense would overpower her. Others speculated she might struggle with consistency, claiming a highlight reel can't stay highlight forever. To make matters more complicated, swirling rumors hinted at tension within the league. Was she stealing too much of the spotlight from established stars? Were certain veteran players annoyed by the hype around Clark? Anonymous quotes hinted that some WNBA veterans didn't appreciate a rookie racking up endorsements and social media followings that dwarfed their own. Earn your stripes, they said, half joking and half serious. Then there was the rumored Olympics snub. Clark was widely expected to grace the international stage, a marketing dream for USA Basketball, but sources close to the selection process hinted that some coaches believed she needed more time to adapt before representing the country at the highest level. Whether it was politics, a genuine roster fit issue, or deeper behind-the-scenes friction remains unclear. But fans were outraged, and speculation took on a life of its own. It wasn't just about one athlete missing out, it was about the future of the sport and the message it sent to every rising star in women's basketball. All the while, Caitlin Clark kept her composure. She didn't lash out in the media. She let her game do the talking. And that's where the greatest names in basketball stepped in to share what they really thought about the controversy. When Michael Jordan breaks his silence on a player outside the NBA, you know it's serious. His statement about Caitlin Clark was as straightforward as it gets. The WNBA owes Caitlin a great deal for what she's done for the game. But Jordan went further, urging the league to treat her fairly and calling out officiating that bordered on negligence. She's more than just a shooter, she's a game changer. Respect that. Then came Steph Curry's turn. If anyone knows about redefining the shooting range in basketball, it's the man who turned the three-point line into his personal playground. He marveled at how Clark's quick release mirrored his own, and how her confidence forced defenses to guard her from half-court. No shot is a bad shot, Curry remarked, grinning at the memory of his younger self launching from the logo. That was high praise from the NBA's most iconic distance sniper. Next up, Kevin Durant. Known for his unstoppable scoring and unwavering commitment to constant improvement, Durant praised Clark's relentless work ethic. He didn't merely call her gifted, he stressed that her ability to combine natural talent with hours upon hours of repetition was what made her special. We talk about players being gym rats, but she's at another level. You see it in her quick decision-making, the angles she creates for passes, and the confidence she has from any spot on the floor. But perhaps the most unexpected compliment came from Allen Iverson. The answer saw a bit of himself in Clark, recalling how people questioned whether his flashy style would translate to real success at the pro level. Iverson said it wasn't just Clark's crazy scoring feats that impressed him, but how she elevates her teammates. Scoring is great, but making the players around you better is next level. She's got that in her blood. Coming from the man who carried a Philadelphia team straight to the NBA Finals nearly on his own back, that endorsement speaks volumes. Charles Barkley, never one to hold his tongue, was frustrated by the overly physical treatment Clark received. "You don't see guys in the NBA or WNBA singled out like this for no reason," he grumbled. "She's a rookie, fine, but this looks personal. It's petty, and it needs to stop." Barkley, who played in one of the NBA's most physically intense eras, doesn't say such things lightly. Shaquille O'Neal had a unique perspective shaped by his loyalty to LSU and his relationship with star Angel Reese. Initially skeptical of Clark's hype, Shaq admitted that over time, he couldn't deny her brilliance. One jaw-dropping deep three after another left him in awe, forcing him to acknowledge she was rewriting the boundaries of women's basketball. "You can't keep calling it a fluke if she does it every single game," he confessed, a rare moment of humility from the larger-than-life center. Meanwhile, Kevin Garnett was more pointed, saying Clark's absence from the Olympic roster was a colossal missed opportunity. "She's not just a prospect, she's the future. You don't win big by stifling the future, you do it by amplifying it," Garnett vented, adding that the WNBA as a whole had to figure out how to embrace new stars without clinging to old patterns. Paul Pierce echoed Garnett's feelings, going so far as to label Clark's 41-point outburst in college as the greatest performance I've ever seen in the NCAA tournament, male or female. He was stunned that Team USA didn't jump at the chance to feature someone who already commands a massive audience. "This is how you grow the women's game, by letting the biggest names show out on the biggest stages," Pierce declared. While critics and legends across the country argued over the hype and controversies, Indiana was busy rolling out the red carpet. The Indiana Fever snagged Clark in a draft, injecting the state's basketball scene with fresh excitement. It wasn't just WNBA fans who were thrilled. Local NBA star Tyrese Halliburton openly welcomed her, pointing out how her presence lit up the entire arena. He showed up courtside for game after game, shaking his head in disbelief at Clark's deep threes and how she could manipulate defenses with a single glance. Reggie Miller, an Indiana legend famous for his clutch shooting and unshakable swagger, chimed in with his own brand of realism. He didn't deny Clark's talent, he praised her range and her poise under pressure, but he also reminded everyone that the pros are a different beast. Rookies get tested. Stars get targeted. If you're truly elite, you survive that gauntlet and come out stronger. "She's getting roughed up?" "Good," Miller said. "She's showing she can handle it. That's how you earn respect. And believe me, if she stays on this path, nobody's going to question her place in the league." Indiana fans responded by packing the stands. The Fever sold more tickets than they had in years. Social media buzzed with memes about Clark's insane shooting range, calling her the queen of the logo. Halliburton's own excitement mirrored that of an entire city, which was waking up to the idea that they had front-row seats to a transformation that could alter women's basketball forever. If there's one voice that can silence debates in Indiana, it's Larry Legend. Fans have been aching to hear Bird's opinion for months. Now they finally have it. He's a believer. Bird casually mentioned that he followed Clark's Iowa games as much as he watched his own alma mater, Indiana State. That alone is high praise, considering how rarely he comments on modern players, especially those outside the NBA. Bird is known for his stone-faced confidence, winning instincts, and habit of delivering championships wherever he went. He has never been one to fling around compliments lightly. So when he acknowledges that Caitlin Clark is doing things that just don't make sense for someone her age, the entire basketball world leans in. According to insiders, Bird sees her as more than a star. He sees her as a pioneer. He believes her fearlessness changes how defenders approach her from the second she gets the ball. It's reminiscent of how he used to manipulate the defense with feints, fakes, and pinpoint passing, forcing opponents to constantly second-guess their coverage. To Bird, Clark represents a new era, one where a woman's range, creativity, and confidence can shake up the court on a nightly basis. And if Larry Legend sees it, you can bet the rest of the basketball universe will soon follow. With the season marching on and the chatter refusing to fade, it's clearer than ever that Caitlin Clark stands on the cusp of basketball history. She's not just collecting endorsements, accolades, and social media fans. She's actively drawing new eyes to women's hoops in a way that few before her ever could. The Olympic snub still lingers in fans' minds, fueling rumors that next cycle she might come back with a vengeance. Sponsors are already lining up for future deals, sensing a phenomenon in the making. Yet along with the applause, undeniable question surfaces. Can she sustain this pressure every single game? If injuries strike or if defenses develop cunning strategies to slow her down, will she adapt? For now, Clark shows zero signs of letting up. She continues raining down deep threes, threading impossible passes, and bringing an attitude that dares defenders to prove she's not what everyone claims she is. But here's the real shocker. Her journey is just getting started. As she refines her handle, polishes her footwork, and learns the league's defensive schemes, we might be witnessing the tip of the iceberg. Imagine if she adds more off-the-dribble counters, or if she orchestrates entire offenses as a point-forward type. Coaches around the league are scrambling to imagine every possible scenario because Caitlin Clark has proven she's a walking enigma. She's changed the WNBA conversation from, "Is this league worth watching?" to "You be crazy to miss this." Caitlin Clark isn't just a player. She's a revolution. When NBA icons from Michael Jordan to Larry Bird nod in respect, something historic is unfolding. Yet all the praise, controversies, and jaw-dropping highlights lead to a single truth. Her story is still being written. She's evolving, pushing boundaries further each night, and carrying the weight of a league eager for broader recognition. What happens next could alter the future of women's basketball forever. Will she seize gold on the international stage down the line? Will she smash more records and force rule changes? Will her name spark a surge of interest that ushers in a new golden era for the WNBA? One thing is certain, Caitlin Clark isn't going anywhere but up. The rest of us, from casual fans to hardcore basketball junkies, might want to buckle up because this ride is only going to get more intense. Are you ready for what comes next? Let your voice be heard in the comments. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss the latest in this unfolding epic. Caitlin Clark's story is still in its opening chapters, and if the first pages are any indication, we're in for one of the most exciting journeys basketball has ever seen.